welcome in and thank you for tuning to another Hextechs dual view of the 8-man tournament that we did. I'm a Mythic Fishbomb here with Endormi.
Hey,
And we've got a match today between JuzamJedi and FunnyFatGuy. And Endormi's going to give us a little breakdown of the matchup.
JuzamJedi is running a Sapphire Diamond deck, but unlike the build I run in the tournament, he's a little bit more aggressive with Protectorate Defenders for card draw and Splinters for tempo-based strategies. So it's less removal and a more creature heavy, really similar to what Tower run in the last XTC Pro tournament. And on the other side, FunnyFatGuy is running a standard build of Blood Diamond control. So let's see how the games go.
Alright, so we got the coin flip here. Trying to see who goes first. You see they're both playing Dimid. And Jedi gets to go first. So
Going first
not bad.
going first can actually be a big deal if he opens a Protectorate Defender and the right amount of resources and FunnyFatGuy doesn't get any removal. But it seems that's not the case.
So they both got Angel in their opening hand, which is never something you enjoy seeing per se. But other than that, their hands are both pretty solid. He's got the Murder, the Extinction, and the Inquisitor. I'm not sure if they know what each other are playing at this point. I think you always kind of go into matchups where you see a Diamond player, assuming they're playing Blood Diamond, just to be safe.
Yeah.
But
The thing is that not all the people play Dimita on the Blood Diamond control, but they do play Dimita on Sapphire Diamond. So FunnyFatGuy could be on Sapphire Diamond.
that's fair. So yeah, not a whole lot going on these early turns here. So what do you think is like? Which matchup do you think is favorite in between the two of them? Sapphire Diamond or Blood Diamond?
I think Sapphire Diamond has some stuff that can really be problematic for Sapphire Diamond, but it's really dependent on the key cards on the matchup. Most of the cards don't matter much. What both of them are looking for is for the marbles and answer to marbles, and the rest of the cards don't matter much. Druids are just overall better in the matchup as they cannot get murder. So that's one of the things that go for the Sapphire Diamond deck. And they also have deck rolls on the Masteries, which are not dead cards in the matchup.
Yeah, if you can negate your opponent's removal spells, it's usually pretty good for you. Buccaneering the Angel there is really nice for him. Turn 2 Angel, well I guess that's turn 3 Angel, but turn 3 Angels are, free Angels in general are gross. So making them have to repay for them is really a nice thing to have happen. The Buccaneer's going to eat a Murder there, which seems a little aggressive. I mean, it's a 2-2, not really the biggest deal in the world. I may have seen it for my opponent's potential Angels or stuff like that, but
Yeah, I think that that more was a little bit aggressive. I mean, if he knows what the Sapphire Diamond deck has, he knows that the most depending on the build, the only targets could be Buccaneers and Totems. So it's not horrible to waste that, but right now it's probably going to pay it with hand. So yeah, I'm not overall fan of the Murdering there.
especially because it has the Inquisitor in hand to just negate the Buccaneer too. So you
Yeah.
could just, Inquisitor it.
Yeah, the
So
Buccaneer
looks like-
already did his job as an entering play. Anything he gets from that is extra.
Yeah. So basically just 2 for 1 his opponent by balancing an Angel and eating a Murder. So we see Jedi there using the Timer Pull as a pseudo counter spell for the effect at least of the Inquisitor by bouncing it back to his hand.
I don't love that play, but I don't hate it. The good thing about bouncing it is that if the Protector Defender dies, doesn't become a dead draw from your deck, as it will go down to be a 0-1 when it gets shuffled back. That's the good thing. The bad thing is that Protector Defender is going to have a really hard time connecting through Inquisitors.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of removal that FunnyFatGuy plays is going to make your defender not really be able to get through anyway. B, you basically just use one of your better pseudo answers to their their angels and stuff, and ways to slow them down, or ways to get your Drew back to your hand from an extinction or whatever, as opposed to just saving a card that's kind of not that great in the matchup anyway.
Yeah.
So we see his hand here. He just drew another totem. He could be tempted to slam a Drew here. Just start getting aggressive. But he may rather just slam the defender here. It looks like he's going to do that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan also of Solitary X on the Angel. Solitary Exiles are really important in the matchup for stuff that you cannot answer. So you have to save them for marbles and stuff like that. So I will have just play the Angel and try to trade.
We drew the Inner Conflict there, which is a really good answer to the Drew we see in his opponent's hand. Unfortunately, he's going to go ahead and slam the Inner Conflict on the totem, it looks like. Well, he's thinking twice about it. Clicked on it for a second there. He may be fine throwing the Inquisitor at it, making him use a few turns to get it back into being an actual threat again, and then Inner Conflicting it, or then, at that point can probably have to overextend a little more and you can Extinction. But he's going to go for the Inner Conflict here.
Yeah, using the Inquisitor on the totem is actually pretty annoying for the Sapphire Diamond player. Especially you have to keep a couple of turns pumping it back up, and usually when you pump it back into a reasonable amount, maybe like 2-4 or something like that, or 2-5, whatever they cost, they actually usually have the Inquisitor again to replay, so it gets mostly nullified. So I don't think the Inner Conflict that was necessary right now.
And it also eats through a few of his turns too. Like that's nothing to be understated either. Just stealing some turns from your opponent is always nice. So it looks like he's thinking about the defender again. I may be more willing to just throw the other totem out there again though. Basically slams both defenders, thinking one will at least get through next turn, which is a way to draw some cards for him and get him back into having some actual threats in his hand, because he still needs another Sapphire for the Grog. He still wants to be able to, draw a Soul Marble so that his Drew is just that much better. But yeah, FunnyFatGuy just has so much control in this matchup already with the Inner Conflict. He's been kind of just able to throw him away willy-nilly without really having much to punish him for it.
Yeah, he's also have done a good job at attacking Juzam's life. The thing is that if FunnyFatGuy extinctions here to prevent him from drawing cards, drew them is going to become a really big issue. So he decides to go with the Angel instead.
And I'm not sure if FunnyFatGuy knows, again, what Juzam's playing, being that he plays Drews in his deck, which is why maybe he was hesitant about Extinction there. Also, the fact that the defenders just go back into your deck, you don't really lose them with the Extinction, they just kind of go away for the time being. Again, I may have been more willing to just shrink an Inquisitor, a defender down to a -1/1, and then block the other Inquisitor with the other defender rather with the Inquisitor. But he lets him draw a card there by doing that. And now looks like we're gonna see a Drew come out.
Yeah, he has the deck roll to exhaust anything, so Drew can do a lot of work here, especially gaining 8 life.
But again, we can see FunnyFatGuy saying we're sure he's gonna, if he draws a resource, he's gonna go ahead and gain 4 life and then Extinction, or just Solitary Exile. That works too, I guess.
Yeah, Solitary X on that keeps the Angel going for the beatdowns, which is a problem from Juzam at this point. He still has the Grog to buy him a couple of turns, but he is getting dangerously low, especially after this attack.
Yeah, now he goes down to 7. He takes 7 rather, going into 4, and then he can Grog. He can go to 6 effectively if he wants to give the life drain to the defender, which then also draws him a card too, which is pretty nice. But looking at FunnyFatGuy's hand here, he kind of just responded whatever he does with the Extinction, or just drawing more removal spells or whatever. And his opponent's at 4, so
I
If you
mean,
can just kill off that Garruk, you can bash through.
Yeah, the thing is that FunnyFatGuy also has that Uranat. So if he extinctions the Grog, or the Grog goes to the graveyard, and FunnyFatGuy manages to get to 7, probably the turn he plays the Uranat he's going to die due to the Grog exhausting everything. He being at such a low life total.
Yeah, and if he extinctions, he only really loses the Angel, which is fine. He has another one in hand anyway, so because the Inquisitor will go back to his hand and it'll just cripple FunnyFatGuy's, JuzamJedi's field. Juzam, I believe, playing around the extinction plays out the defender as opposed to the totem, assuming that his opponent may have to extinction here. Though he no longer has to extinction because he's got a free angel.
Yeah,
So,
and he could potentially play the other free angel and have him dead completely dead in the air unless he top decks another Grog.
well, the other angel costs 6 from the Buccaneer before, so
Right.
he still needs a resource to play that one out. But now he can't. Now, FunnyFatGuy won't. JuzamJedi won't be able to draw cards anymore except for to block the the defender with the Inquisitor. Sorry, I couldn't get the word out. But the Garruk does some work. Lets him draw another card. He can then gain 2 life, go to 6, and depending on what he draws, we'll see how that plays out for him.
Yeah, he decided not to gain 2 life next turn, but now with the double angels, he knowing that going down to 6 is quite important that he can take 1 hit from the angels right now. Let's see what he draws. Nothing of consequence, so this is going to be rough.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to extinction. Again, he still has a pretty solid board state regardless. But I think we're gonna see an extinction happen here.
I mean, there's really no need that he can. He attacks. He could potentially attack with the angels next turn, potentially kill him or close to it, especially now with the results.
I mean, him drawing another resource means he's definitely gonna slam the angel and bash in for 12 next turn. If he didn't draw the resource, he may have been willing to extinction there, but
yeah. He also had the
doesn't need
Vampire King, which does a similar role.
so he can life drain to the totem, noting that he can pump it a couple of times to gain however much life he wants. Probably attack first, see how he blocked. But it doesn't actually matter. He's gonna either block with the angel or not. Almost certainly not gonna block the angel, but still.
I probably will have not pumped the totem and just attack with the 2, because maybe the Splinter saves the day. If you can play it with the resources open to bounce another spell.
We can even double block one of the angels, going down to 2 off blocking the off not blocking one of the angels. Well, you just go to 4 stocks to gain 2 off the totem, and then have another flyer to block next turn.
Yeah, you will go up to 8 and you have 3 flyers, but it's just not getting much better for you.
And again, if he just draws a resource to get extinction without consequence, and then Slammer now is getting back the Garruk to be sure to kill him through anything he does.
Yeah, I guess the way of the other side, he cannot cast Extinction Ties due to the bounce of the Splinter. But yeah, probably this will bumping the totem it's better.
Oh, actually, you could just you can earn us here, grabbing the Buccaneer out of the graveyard.
Yeah. Don't think he has much options other than the Buccaneer.
Yeah, I probably would have been more willing to just extinction there. Because if he bounces a Garruk, he then just gets to tap him down and bash in for a lot with the totem and gain 5 more life. So actually probably better off extinctioning there and then slamming the urine as the following turn.
Yeah, you attack with everything and let's see how he blocks. And depending on how he blocks, you extinction or decide to play the Vampire King or potentially get the Uranus there, as there's probably going to be a Grog in the graveyard, so he cannot attack with anything. So maybe a little bit of a wrong order of.
Yeah, he had to block. He had to bounce the totem there. If he had bounced the Grok, he just gave him another free turn. So obviously bouncing the totem there.
Yeah, the only options were the totem or the defender if he wanted to go for extra damage. if he had bones, the guy who will have taken 7, which will have not been enough.
So he takes 8 here and kills off an angel, but also loses all of his flyers.
Yeah.
He can still slam the Splinter next turn, but he can slam Splinter plus Totem, which is okay, but the Totem can't block a flyer. That's not a bad draw. So I can actually just slam Totem, give it Flight, and then also have Time Ripple for the Angel.
Yeah, but the thing is that there are too many flyers, too many damage coming through, and I don't think he cannot give it a life drain plus flight to unsurvive. So yeah, he's just going to decide to concede. So here we see on sideboard he has 2 Solitary Exiles, 3 Chosen, 3 Stone Skins, 4 Repels, and 3 Shepherd. So what do you like there?
I mean, none of them are that great against him. You could bring in the repels potentially. So he had 2 Solitary Exiles on the sideboard. So he brought in there. Actually missed the first part of his sideboards, but yeah, like not much of his deck is based around attacking really. He just kind of kills you with just killing off all your troops and then killing you with like an angel or something. So the repels aren't that great. Still probably what I'd bring in though.
I do like the Solitary Exiles for the marble or basically anything. The repels are, as you said, mediocre. They still kill Vampire King, which is problematic, and they also he saw Uranus, so he probably may want to keep some amount due to Uranus, as Bones is terrible against Uranus.
Bringing Stone Skin seems kind of odd to me though. Maybe he's worried about Life Siphon on the sideboard. But again, funny fact, we know FunnyFatGuy doesn't have a sideboard, so
the Stone Skins are still decent as they can protect a totem that's going big or something like that. So
that's true. But he still has counter magic, so I'd maybe take out some amount of counter magics for it, maybe, since they perform a similar role in that aspect.
But the counter magics can counter all the stuff. You want to play the counter magics for example, marbles or extinctions or key cards, and the Stone Skins can be the counters for the cards that are hardy but are not backbreaking on the matchup.
The Splinters seem kind of underwhelming. I think that's fine. 2 Stone Skins taking out the Splinters seems fine with me.
I do like the time ripples in the matchup, so I don't like to see all the full 4 go out, but it seems okay.
Yeah, I mean, time ripples are one of your better answers to like a luck sacked angel. So.
Yeah, I will have rather taken some amount of Buccaneers and leave a couple of time ripples, because you can do the trick with Solitary Exile plus time ripple. Also, you have something, you have a totem or a cavalry, and they try to extinction. You can bounce your own dude. If they Solitary Exile something and you only have something on board, but they have something else, you can bounce your own stuff and force them to Solitary Exile their stuff. So there's a couple of times where Time Ripple can really shine. A Buccaneer is mediocre. It performs a similar role, but the 2-2 body is usually not relevant. And what's even worse, it gets hit by Vampire King, while Time Ripple does not get hit by Vampire King when it's on hand. So yeah, I like a little bit more the Time Ripples over the Buccaneers. Although with armaments, Buccaneers are of course much better. If he goes for that flip.
For sure. I mean, kind of not a whole lot to talk about this with his lack of sideboard. I actually don't even know what Blood Diamond tends to have in the sideboards. Again, with them not having reserves until, you know, these recent tournaments. You know, it's kind of still very open as to what each person plays in the sideboards, and what each person kind of likes in each matchup. Which person wants to take each things out in the matchup. As you can see here, the Urnaz in this deck is one I haven't seen in other Blood Diamond decks before.
Yeah, Urnaz is really nice in some matchups.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if he has that because he didn't have another Soul Marble, because he's only playing 3 marbles, which I think usually you see 4.
Yeah.
So maybe he just had it as a because he didn't have enough, or what? But
I think that most of the Blood Diamond sideboard goes with the full stuff with the mirror match and card draw, which is what's lacking from the Blood Diamond core deck. So you probably see something like Pact of Pain and potentially Life Siphons.
yeah, I like Life Siphon a lot, especially in the Blood Diamond matchup where maybe they have Stone Skins, but not usually. Maybe that's something you'll see in the future. Is some amount of Stone Skins in the sideboard.
I don't think Stone Skins are great on the mirror. They don't
Well, they're
stop
great
the
if your
solid.
opponent's bringing in you Life Siphons and such. They are.
Yeah, but that's the only way. Most of the other stuff is dead.
Well, it gets rid of Inquisitions. It gets rid of their murders, their repels, which I guess aren't really that great in the matchup anyway.
Yeah, they're probably going to sideboard a good amount of removal out.
So you got a pretty aggressive start here by Juzam with the turn 1, Chosen turn 2 Defender.
Yeah, with the threshold.
Unfortunately, the Inquisition in FunnyFatGuy's hand is going to take care of that Drew, which would make him have a really nice aggressive start. And because he's tapped out here, he can't even Stone Skin away the Inquisition.
Yeah, but one of the things is what I mentioned on the start of the fake game. Protectorate Defender on the play with double Suffer to draw cards can be really, really good for Juzam. As you can see, FunnyFatGuy has no answer to it until turn 4 if he doesn't draw a diamond. As Repel Arena Conflict needs a diamond to work, and Inquisitor is still a couple of turns away, so he can get a good amount of card draw from it. He can still protect him from one removal spell with a Stone Skin, so he can get a lot of gas from that guy, even if he lost the Drew from the Inquisition.
So we're going to see, and what's even more awesome is that he can draw into potentially some Spectres that he's now adding into his deck with the Chosen, which is nice. I think he'd rather just draw into a second diamond here right now, just to have it. No, he doesn't need it right now, but still, that actually may be even better.
That seems like the best route there.
Yeah, for sure. And he drew an angel without having any diamond, which is really like a punch in the gut.
It's really backbreaking, and still he cannot use any of his removal spells right now. Next turn,
Youth draw another card too, which is huge.
Youth can also have next turn a Stone Skin plus Counter Magic, which could be devastating.
So he's probably gonna slam that Soul Marble instead of holding up Counter Magic plus Stone Skin. So you hold up Soul Marble plus Stone Skin, which is nice.
I think I will hold the stuff. See if he has Extinction. I mean, maybe he kept the hand that had the Extinction, and right now he didn't have the resources. You can counter the Extinction, and he does nothing for the turn, so you get to draw another card, and put him down to 10.
That's true. Yeah.
And you can slam it next turn with the counter magic if he does nothing, as you have a resource in hand.
Probably attack first before playing the resource. Not that it really matters, but
yeah, in case you get a diamond, you want to play the diamond.
Yeah. But again, he just wants to get to 5. Doesn't really matter when he gets there. Just needs to get there. So.
Yeah. He has the Shards of Fate, so.
Drawing a second Soul Marble is really nice, just in case he has a way to answer the first one, which we can see from his hand. He doesn't have a way to answer it, but now he can just sit back with Counter Magic open forever, pumping his marble, countering whatever his opponent plays, and really just end this game pretty quickly here.
Yeah, the FunnyFatGuy got color screwed, and now he's even getting a shard screwed. So the tempo that Yutan has with the tempo that he can get with the counter mic plus the Stone Skin, it's probably just enough to close the game. And now that the marble is looming in the horizon, I think there's much he can do.
It kind of, I mean, it's hard to really tell for sure, but it feels like Juzam may have put himself into more of a aggressive tempo-y deck as opposed to the control deck he was the first game, knowing that he can't out-control FunnyFatGuy's Blood Diamond deck.
As I said, is the defender. The defender is pretty good against control. If you are on the play, he's a lot worse on the draw, and you have to avoid the couple of the chip removal spells for him to be good. That is what happened on this game. If your opponent keeps a sketchy hand and you get the defender on the play with the right resources, as you saw at the start of the game, if he had a way to kill the defender, he had nothing in hand, as he got the Drew discarded through the Inquisition.
Yeah, and, like, he kept the hand because of the Inquisition, I believe. Maybe I was wrong with that, but I feel as though he kept the hand because he had Inquisition, plus a bunch of cheap removal spells, and I think he had a totem opening hand. I'm not really sure if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, he mulliganed down to 6.
Really nice.
Yeah, mulliganed down to 6, and he just didn't draw any diamond, which will have made his hand much more powerful.
Yeah, even just one diamond would have made his hand like really good. He had the repel, he had the inner conflict, and the totem, so he could have just. Obviously, those were all voided out by the fact that he had Juzam had Stone Skin plus counter magic, so not the hugest deal in the world, but the fact that he had them would made the hand much better overall.
Yeah. I think that if FunnyFatGuy managed to hit the resources at the right time, we will probably looking at a much different game. Use some without many resources. They are really slow clocking in the form of only the Chosen, and probably FunnyFatGuy could have done a lot of damage from there, but he just never got there.
So noticing here, I'm not sure if this is, again, I'm not really 100% familiar with the stereotypical Blood Diamond deck. Is he has 4 inner conflicts, 4 solitary exiles, and I believe 4 repels as well as 4 inquisitors. Is that normal for the Blood Diamond deck, or is that like he's just going super controlling here?
I think he's going super controlling. I think the inner conflicts is one of the stuff you can have on the sideboard, because the removal that Diamond has, it targets different things. So sometimes you want to have inner conflict, and sometimes you want to have solitary exiles, but I don't think there's a matchup that you want to have both of them, or both of them in addition to repel.
Yeah, I mean, like, you want the inner conflicts mostly for, like, maybe this matchup particularly with the Drew, as well as the solitary exiles. Like, maybe this matchup is where you want all 3 of them to enter Drews, and you want to, like, not have murderers, which I believe he's also running some amount of murders. I don't know exactly. He wasn't scrolled down enough to really see all the deck list, but I do believe he is running murders as well.
Yeah, the good thing about inner conflict is that it doesn't die to natural right? So for example, when you are facing wild decks, you can sideboard out your solitary exiles and bring the inner conflict, as they are going to do a similar role and they are much safer. For example.
Yes, aside from like the Manti Elders, like they really can't deal with inner conflicts. But if you're gonna run inner conflicts over exiles, I may be willing to run something like Judgment as another sweeper, as well as a way to answer soul marbles and opposing solitary exiles.
Yeah, but I don't think you can get away from the solitary exiles. They answer so much stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So that hand's much better for FunnyFatGuy. He's got Marble, he's got Inner Conflict, he's got Murder, and he's got Extinction. So, if he was facing a similar hand from JuzamJedi, which he's not right now, but it's pretty close to similar hand. He's got the Defender, which is the biggest threat against him before. His hand fares much better against it. So he's gonna mulligan that hand away, which I thought was a fairly decent hand. He had two totems and the Defender, which is really nice.
Yeah,
this hand's actually much better though.
It's really similar. He got a chosen over the totem, but we will see right now how the Defender is so much worse on the play. He still lacks one more Sapphire for the card draw ability to be there.
Yeah, I think he just really wants the. I don't know if he was aggressively mulliganing for the Chosen, but he really wants Chosen turn 1 in this game just to help him with the late game, because as the game goes longer, it really does benefit FunnyFatGuy, I feel like. Because he's got they both have marbles and they both have, similar, removal spells, suites and such. But FunnyFatGuy has so much more of it, so he can grind you out really well. Whereas now he's going to be making a 2/2 that draws him a card and flies every turn. So I feel like this helps him with the game potentially going late, which it's almost certainly going to with looking at FunnyFatGuy's hand.
But still, you need a lot of specters if you want to race with Soul Marble. So he probably was looking also for Soul Marble, but he decided to stick with a six card hand. His opening wasn't fantastic, so he decided the chance of him getting a better six was good enough for him to mulligan.
Yeah, for sure. And he plays the defender there as opposed to playing the totem for A, probably eating a removal spell. B, if he does need a removal spell, he's gonna draw him another card, hopefully, if he hits a Sapphire here. But man, that's a lot of removal spells in his hand. I don't know if that thing can eat anywhere near enough removal spells at this point. It's just all removal all day. So totem isn't even gonna be safe, despite Juzam's best effort of baiting out removal spells with the defender.
So he's going to conflict now, which is a good removal spell to put on the defender, which makes him useless for the rest of the matchup. And if he dies, it becomes a dead draw. It also stops him from top taking a Sapphire and have counter Mike for the removal spell, which could be really really bad, as he will draw a card from that. So I think that's a nice play there.
Yeah, for sure. So you got a Spectre there, which I may have wanted to play the Spectre before playing the resource in case I draw a Sapphire, because you do want to get the triple for Grog. Not that it really matters; he's not going to do anything with double Sapphire now. But I still probably have, just out of a better habit, to play the Spectre first to see what you draw.
Yeah.
So there's a Stone Skin, which he probably wants to save for next turn with playing the Totem and the Stone Skin in the same turn, so you can protect it from something like Murder, which we see in FunnyFatGuy's hand, or Inner Conflict, or what have you.
What we do see is that the Inner Conflict on the defender more or less paid out, as he did draw the Stone Skin from the defender, so he will have protect him from the Repel or Murder that FunnyFatGuy could well throw during the attack. He wouldn't have draw a card, but it will have been a little bit iffy.
So now he's going to go with Totem plus Stone Skin. Unfortunately, he's going to eat the Murder, and then it'll probably die to the Repel the following turn, though. So it'll probably get through 2 points of damage at most. I don't think he's going to Murder on his turn. He may, but actually, he probably will Murder on his turn, just in case he draws like a Sapphire and already has a kind of magic in hand, just to be safe.
Yeah, I think that FunnyFatGuy played around the counter Mike on the first one, so he might play around it now. Let's see if he's on the upkeep.
Oh, so he didn't play around it, so he's gonna let him have the possibility of having counter magic for it. I may rather Stone Skin now and then counter magic the following turn, but he may just repel, and then if that one gets countered, then Murder.
No, I think you want to counter this turn, so next turn you can pump the totem plus a Stone Skin.
Yeah, sure.
But it seems that FunnyFatGuy is going to go to the Repel and just pump the marble. So Juzam disagrees with me and decides to Stone Skin that. Is better this way if his opponent had the Stone Extinction. So
that's fair.
Is what you want to play around. You want to play around the second Extinction, or you want to pump your totem as fast as possible, which I think is what you want when you're facing the marble there.
It's not as has to eat Murder now, right? Nope. Or he's gonna just not keep. He's gonna continue not playing around the counter magic, which I guess he did. Did he see counter magic at all yet? I think he saw it the second game, right?
If you're facing the Sapphire Diamond, you know they're playing counter magic.
Yeah, that's true. I was given the benefit of the doubt there. So he's gonna bash in for 2 here, and I don't think he's gonna pump.
But I think FunnyFatGuy is going for the Murder, and if Juzam counter magics, he just attacks with the Soul Cavalry next turn and gain 6. And the totem is far away from being able to block and kill the cavalry.
So you can't see the phases there, but he did wait until the absolute last second to Murder it there. So just in case he did pump him instead of holding up counter magic, he would be able to sort of 2-for-1 by making him waste his entire turn, pumping the totem, and then get murdered.
Yep.
So, smart play there by FunnyFatGuy.
Yeah, that way he could have not pumped the totem.
So FunnyFatGuy's kind of draw. You've seen him draw resource after resource after resource here. Not horrible considering he's got a soul marble out there, but I'm sure he'd like to be drawing something else at this point. Like anything else would be better than drawing resources at this point.
Yeah, and although Jusam has the grog to get some damage through and pop the totem, Jutam's hand is really soft to any removal spell. And he's going to get at least a couple of turns, as he's going to gain 6 life here from the cavalry. And he managed to murder the totem. It's Jutam in a lot of trouble, as Sapphire Diamond has a lot of issues dealing with cavalry. They don't have any way to extinction, so their ways of dealing with it is pumping the totem high enough, or try to grog for the wing. And he's not in a position of doing that.
Yeah, and he's again drawing resources the past 2 turns at least. So still not in a great position for Juzam here, despite FunnyFatGuy's flood on his side. Just bashing him for 2. Not bother giving it life drain. He doesn't really need to give it yet. He's gonna wait for him to be pumped a little higher, so it actually matters a little bit more. 2 life isn't really that much of a big deal.
Yeah, the next turn he can still pump it twice to a 4/4 while cavalry cannot attack, and the next turn he can potentially trade with the soul marble. Although I probably just expect a jump from well, no, he's probably going to bounce his own and grog and try to replay him to try to gain a couple of more turns, depending on what he draws. But he wants to pump the totem, so I don't know. It's interesting to see which route he wants to go.
So you can bash in for 5 here, making his totem do a 3/3, and then bounces Garalk, chump blocking with the Buccaneer, and then replaying the Garalk the following turn, where he can then still bash in for 3 more damage. Again, both of them kind of just drawing blanks here, but just drawing resources every turn.
Yeah, the problem with both in the Grolk is that you still need to pump the totem, because the Grolk is just a short-term solution to the cavalry, so you need to have the totem as pump as possible.
So it looks like he's gonna not bounce the Grolk there.
Yep.
It's just a little odd to me. I guess he wanted to just gain the extra life. He could make it into a 6/6 next turn.
Yeah, and trade with the
So let's see. And
Yeah.
Inquisitor is really nice for him.
Yeah, it's really bad for you. As we said, any removal spell, and we can count this Inquisitor as a removal spell. It's really bad. So now he has to bump it up much more for it to be able to trade with the cavalry.
So Inquisitor essentially just not ate his last turn, but made him use his last turn rather ineffectively.
Yeah, I mean it's fair, because if he didn't draw a resource this turn, he will, even if he played even if he draw a resource this turn, he wouldn't be able to play the pump the totem. So just playing the grog, it's not going to give him much room for doing stuff.
So he's at 8 resources now, which means he could take another 6 here. He may block with the Grog here. Next turn he can now pump the totem twice, getting him to be a 7 butt, so he can block the marble for pretty much as long as he wants.
Yeah, if the totem manages to survive, he's in a good spot. The thing is that the Inquisitor is probably still going to get through. And FunnyFatGuy is going to gain a lot of life from the Soul Cavalry, as he still has 5 counters from the Dimit.
Yeah, he's gonna go to 22 next turn, which, with the Inquisitor not really being able to be blocked at this point, because if he blocks, he's just gonna shrink his totem even lower and lower. That was a really nice top deck for him there.
Yeah.
Getting rid of that Grolk was pretty huge.
Yeah, I mean it's not completely over, but it really makes Jusam basically stops one of his draws.
Was one of Juzam's better plays was to be able to, Grok even later in the game, not necessarily next turn, but later in the game to be able to either crush through and win or just stall out from dying.
I think he
And
had to
now it's
block.
completely done.
He had to play the Grog next turn probably.
Yeah, almost everything had to play next turn, but it's going to take 6 here, go to 6, blocking the Inquisitor, which then is going to shrink down his totem even further.
Yeah.
Fortunately, what matters is that he can make it into a, 1/7, which can then block the Soul Marble.
Yeah, but the issue there is that having the 7 bot is good to block the Soul Marble, but it doesn't actually fix the problem of Soul Marble. He still needs to have 6 attack to heal it, and that's a lot of turns for FunnyFatGuy to get any other kind of removal spell and remove the totem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it not killing the marble is rather unfortunate. He could give it Swift Strike and keep killing off the Inquisitor if he really wants to, but that doesn't really do much of anything either, because Inquisitor doesn't actually ever die.
Yeah, the problem is that the Buccaneer dies to the Inquisitor, cannot block the Inquisitor every time, so even though now he can block the Cavalry, the Inquisitor is going to get chump blocked or not, but it's going to be able to be replayed. And it's going to need something to block it.
And drawing the second marble too, makes it even more of a pain.
Yeah, and he is going to be able to flip it next turn. He's going to go. Yeah, even if he doesn't get anything, the Soul Cavalry. It's going to need to be blocked next turn. So he decides, instead of playing the second Soul Marble, to bomb the totem even lower. So he has no way of gaining life.
I mean, the totem could become, an X, what would be like a 110 or a 210 or something like that. So he can still block the Cavalry, so shrinking it down even lower.
Yeah.
Doesn't really do much of anything actually. Could have made the other marble into another Cavalry to crack through to kill him.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he makes the Cavalry, he will potentially give it the totem steadfast, and with the hero power life drain and pump it once to gain 1 or 2 life, so he can take a hit from the Cavalry. And this way, he can only gain 1 life from the totem, and still needs to get to block the other guy. And he keeps blocking the Inquisitor. It's just going to shrink him more and more and more. And with no resources, he's just barely able to put the totem back on what it was.
And now the inner conflict. So that's pretty much all she wrote at this point. You can send the marble, put it to 4 resources, and flip it next turn, and that's 3 attackers for at most 2 potential blockers, and he's at 3. So
I don't know if Yuzan has any specters in his deck, but then the only way to survive this one was to get a bunch of specters.
I think he played a turn 1 chosen this game. Although that was this game. So he does have a few in his deck. So if you can chain a few together, he could probably be okay.
Yeah, but he needs to chain a lot together.
He has to chain like 9 together.
I don't think he has 9, but yeah. Drew is not bad, but it's not going to be enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean the marble's gonna be another Cavalry, so even they can kill off the first Cavalry, the second Cavalry's gonna crack through to kill him.
It doesn't need to be the Cavalry. He has two attackers, 1 blocker, and he's a 3. Both of them are lethal.
Not true.
But yeah, it was just a FunnyFatGuy just needed to draw a removal spell, and as we saw on his side where he had a lot of them, and Juzam didn't draw anything that mattered.
Yeah, he kind of just flooded out after a while. They both flooded out, but FunnyFatGuy's top decks were just way better. And it's kind of how it's going to work with this deck. His top decks are going to be all removal spells, or just all ways to make sure he can actually kill you with the Soul Marble. And FunnyFatGuy's top decks were kind of dinky 1/1s and. Well,
Yeah,
the totem was really nice. It kind of got nullified by the Inquisitor.
yeah. One of the issues that I said is that a lot of cards don't matter much in the matchup, and if you don't get those cards, you are going to be screwed. Soul Marble is fantastic on the matchup, and he didn't got any of them. Drugul have been really good before, as he kills Soul Marble, but he didn't get them either. So not drawing anything of substance for the matchup really hurt him. As
Yeah.
we said, the Buccaneers and the random 1/1s, they are really not what you want that late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the matchup doesn't seem horrible for Sapphire Diamond overall, but maybe that construction of it may not have been the greatest matchup for Blood Diamond. I know you played Sapphire Diamond yourself in both the last challenge series as well as this tournament, and did fairly well with it. I'm not sure how much you played against Blood Diamond though with it.
Yeah, but the build I was playing was on the last challenge here was a little bit different. But it's an okay matchup, but it really depends on the draws, because there, as I said, your deck invalidates most of your draws, and his deck invalidates a lot of your draws. Both of you don't have a lot of card advantage, so it's see who draws the relevant cards of the match, and he has the Extinctions, the Soul Marbles, the Exiles, and you have the counter magics, the Soul Marbles, and all other stuff. Cool deal with our stuff, so it's getting the right cards on the matchup, and the rest of the deck doesn't matter much, as the chance of you winning soon with a random creature are really low, as we are all flush with removal. It can happen, but it's really unlikely.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for this one. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you again for hopefully another one in the future.
Bye, guys.
Bye.